So hey guys, today we're just going to be building a theoretically really annoying deck. So the premise behind this deck is that we're essentially not going to be interacting too much with our opponent. That's not really our goal. Our goal is to somewhat have an unbreakable board in the sense that, our opponent won't be able to do anything to our board, but we're not necessarily going to be trying to just like bring our opponent down, as in like using stuff like DP pop, like removal, Baron, negate, so like negates in general. Not saying we won't have them on the board, but that's not the end goal. The end goal is just to have our opponent unable to do anything to our board. So when I was thinking about that, there were a number of monsters that came to mind, but I'm not like 100% sure on how I would get them all onto the field at the same time. But first things first, one of the two options I think we have is we have Momental Tekutlika Combined Creation, and we are going to pair our Combined Creation with simply the Cranium Burst, or alternatively we have um, something like one of the U-Bells, whichever one's more convenient, I guess. Could be any. So we could do something like maybe Phantom of U-Bell, and then Nightmare Pain. And that would be kind of a negate as well. So in terms of end board, this might be the more ideal one and probably more splashable, I would say, because we can technically go into this engine through Fiendsmith. So as convoluted as this might sound, we can let's say we start with some random archetype. Okay, what's an archetype that can put two bodies on the board and it doesn't lock you? Let's see. Let's go with, I don't know, Vanquish Soul. If I like special summon Pantera, normal summon Razin, and then I link off both of them for Moon, all of a sudden we have Yubel combo now. Well, eventually it gets there. That's the idea, I guess, of why this might be more preferable, and I think there might be less Garnets than if we were to run Memento. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, at the end of the day, it accomplishes more or less the same thing. So in general, our goal here is to make our cards not really destructible by battle. In which case, I think Memento is actually just worse for this. I mean, a 5k big booty with the Tekutlika Combined Creation is nice and all, but this just genuinely can never be destroyed by any battles. And you also take no damage from battles. So for just playing kind of on the defensive and having like a really, I guess, resistant end board or chunky end board, I think Memento not going to be a good fit here. And also the interactions that Memento does not so good here. So we'll probably work on an actual deck list later. So we're going to work on the concept for now. But yeah, next thing I want to do is make the board untargetable. And there are two ways I can really think of to do this. So one, we have Vendread. And I think, honestly, Vendread is probably the way to go for this, because this makes your whole board untargetable. And I mean, like, your whole board. So my back row, if you had Twin Twisters, you can't touch it, sorry to say. And also, the only thing you might be able to do, I guess, would be like Forbidden Droplet. Like, straight up. Forbidden Droplet, deck really no more. Those are probably your only two options to, like, affect my monsters on the board. That's what I'm thinking about, at least. And the other option for this would probably be God Slime, I'm thinking. So Egyptian God Slime has the effect where it cannot be destroyed by battle. Your opponent's monster cannot target for attacks, and your opponent cannot target with card effects any monsters you control except for Egyptian God Slime. So if we had no back row, I think Egyptian God Slime would be pretty good, but will we have back row? If we don't have back row, I guess it wouldn't matter. Because then well, if we were able to summon the Egyptian God Slime, then we don't need Phantom of Yubel or Nightmare Pain. But the only way you could really summon Egyptian God Slime is if you were to use like Tearlament cards and then randomly mill the other slime card, whatever it's called. Let's see. Aha, the Guardian Slime. If you mill something like a Guardian Slime, actually it says a level 10 water monster. Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's any good level 10 water monsters. I mean, I'll just put very high doubt on it. So, yeah. So, we'll need to, like, have a Guardian Slime in the graveyard and then trigger, like, a Tearlament or some sort of fusion to summon, like, Egyptian God Slime, which is just going to be more painful than just going into, like, Fiendsmith or into a Yubel combo. But, you know, so far, so good. Our end board has become a little more annoying. So, as of currently, the expectation for the end board that I have right now is it's going to be a end board that you can't target, and also you can't destroy anything by battle. So that's where we're at right now. And you know what? This right now, it's basically kind of just Makanko, where we just have Huli equipped with like literally any equip spell. That's kind of what we've accomplished so far, but the difference here is that Huli only protects Makanko cards and we'll have other cards, and our face down cards will be protected as well, so it's like still somewhat better. And Huli does reflect damage, but this makes battling mandatory. But in terms of making battling mandatory, I gotta say, like, I would prefer Memento because it would be funny to see my opponent forced to ram into my 5k combined creation, just whatever guys they have, and make it mandatory to just crash them into this. So those are my personal preferences, but like in terms of efficiency, I think so far that this is what we've got, right? Vendread and then Yubel. Doable enough because the big Yubel guys, you don't really care if they're in the graveyard and you can shuffle them back to make the fusion, which is nice. And you don't care if the Vendread ritual specifically, or actually any of the Vendread monsters are in the graveyard, that's fine. So that's not really problematic. Oh hey, look, Gaddock. Anyway, uh, focusing back up now, the next thing I would want to take care of is to make just my cards not so destructible. So if we have non-target destruction, we could deal with that. And actually, now that I think about it, we can still get technically kind of Zeused if we're just playing Phantom of Yubel. If we play Tekutlika Combined Creation, that is a little bit better against Zeus because it's a 5k guy and then you have to run your like XYZ monster into that. So it's like marginally better in those situations. So, I mean, there are benefits to both. Maybe I have to reevaluate which of the two to kind of go into. And I believe the Memento combo you can go into off of Moon as well. And I think we have room to make Moon with Vendread. Probably. If we're doing like Vendread combo, I feel like we can go into that. I'll just say probably. And there were like some synergies between like Memento and Vendread. They're like not like super significant, but they existed. Like we can search Diviner eventually with the Vendread cards, and then the Diviner, if we tribute that, can actually be used to special summon the what's it called? Memento Mace. Yeah, Memento Lin Mace, which is a fairy, which Diviner just summons a low-level fairy for whatever reason whenever it's tributed. So that just kind of works for this. So, alright, let's see, what else are we missing here? Well, next thing I would want to look at is just preventing destruction, perhaps? I mean, if our opponent has kaijus, they have kaijus, so I'm not really worried about that. Not that many people are playing kaijus, but if they are playing kaijus, they just deserve the win, I guess. So, alright, next thing we want to do is to maybe make our end board not as destructible. Maybe we don't have like a way to always protect, but just one way would be nice. So a few things I can think of here, just off the top of my head. We have like maybe Cypher. if we just slap this on that board, that'd be nice, I guess. Because we have the effect of the first time each card you control would be destroyed each turn by battle or card effect is not destroyed. So it's just kind of generic protection. That's one idea. Next idea I'm thinking of is maybe we can just make Dingirsu, you know? Maybe we're running a little bit too low on extra deck space, maybe? If we're incorporating too much stuff. I haven't really put anything in yet, but... yeah. Orchist, you can just keep resummoning Dingirsu, actually. As long as your opponent doesn't hit you with too many non-target destruction effects, you're probably pretty solid, actually. So, Dingirsu, just put some pretty decent coverage. I mean, if you're really invested in the Dingirsu, if we make it with 2 level 8 monsters, and then we equip or attach a Banish Machine monster to our Dingirsu, then that would put us at 3 materials, so that's 3 times our board would not be able to be destroyed. Our back row, our monsters, whatever, they just can't be destroyed, I guess. And then we also have, let's see. I guess the Centurion cards are an option. A few of these are moderately useful. We have, let's see, Legacia effect, not really that useful. What was Primera's effect? Level 5 or higher Centurion monsters, so that doesn't protect anything aside from Centurions. But with Auxilla, this actually protects our face-up cards in our Spell and Trap zone, and makes them not destructible by card effects. So now the only way to get rid of our back row would be to hit it with some non-targeting Banish or non-targeting Send to the Graveyard, which is kind of amusing. So maybe this could help us out a little bit and have some merit. But yeah, for the most part, I'm thinking along the lines of like one of these two guys are pretty good. And if we do go through like Gargoyle in one of these lines, this adds back to the hand, and then we can actually distribute that for Slayer, which is kind of funny. And then if we also used Wake Up Centurion, we could link off like Slayer with Auxilla for a link 2, which is also kind of funny. And then trigger Slayer, do Vendred combo, I guess. So far, pretty annoying. But I mean, if we want to just hamper our opponent's plays without like doing too much, we could also just randomly throw in like some form of macro, you know, like, I don't know, Arise Heart, Dark Law. We also have, of course, the ghetto macro from the Bestials. We have Etude, right? Was it Etude? Ah, there we go. We have like ideas of something like this as well. So, Auxilla, I think, might be a better fit, because Auxilla I can actually just make using like Diviner plus Slayer, which is something you just will have on the field sometimes when you're playing Vendred. So 6 plus 6 is just 12. So I'm thinking maybe it'd be just more efficient to go for that. And then Bestials, I think I don't really want to play the Bestial package in this. It would be like more efficient for the deck overall, probably. Like, just because Bestials are so good, right? But for the actual end goal that we're going for, I'm not 100% sure on this, like, actually getting us places, so no. And then Arise Heart. Yeah, Arise Heart's just a pain, and that's to summon. Dark Law, probably the easiest one to summon out of all these somehow. So with Dark Law, we would have to hard open like a Hero Lives and then start with that, which I'm not like that big of a fan of that either. So we could do like Special Summon Shadow Mist, then just raw Mass Changeover, or we could just play like Mass Change 2. Which, I mean, the rituals are fine to discard, for example, right? There are probably a lot of decent discards we would have playing like Vendred and Yubel. So that's fine. And these are also like decent discards if we are playing just a raw Centurion package here. which we're not necessarily doing because we can just summon this without playing any Centurions. Actually, with just Ventred, so that's something. So at minimum, we do have a lot going for us here. Now that I think about it, with Auxilla, we can actually just grab a Centurion card as well. Not really sure if there's actually a useful one. Well, I guess it's just Phalanx, right? Like, we could play a 1 of Phalanx if we just play only Doxilla, or we could play like a random high-level Centurion like Gargoyle, just to add for like fodder, I guess. Like that. That's not actually that bad if we were doing that. But this actually also goes into just full Centurion combo by itself, because we can search the field spell. But actually, if we can search the field spell, that actually gets into Ziffer Divine. Wow. That's more efficient than I thought, so that would give everything protection as well, actually. So it seems pretty solved already. We just do these 3 engines together and maybe throw in like some Fiendsmith to access the U-Bell stuff. And we're pretty solid, but it's like, can we make Venboard a little bit more annoying? So right now, what we've got going is, you can technically destroy my end board if you attempt enough destructions. So our Revendred Executor in particular will be protected by Origin in the graveyard. No hard ones return on that. Then we have Cipher protecting. So this has like, you have to destroy this unironically 3 times to destroy this. Can't be destroyed by battle. None of our guys can be. Our back row, just straight up not destructible because of Auxilla. And then, now that I think about it, wait, do we need Phantom of Yubel? Wait a second, we could just make Chaos Angel, actually. If we make Chaos Angel, this also makes all of our monsters not destructible. This also then makes our Synchro monsters unaffected by monster effects, period. Oh. So then, the only way we can be affected, if we have, assuming we have like a light and dark made Chaos Angel, would be, for the most part, aside from our Revendred Executor here, like our Synchros, would be non-targetable, not non-destructible by, I guess, spells and traps. And then, oh, then you would have to find like a way to banish our cards here. I mean, not bad, actually. If our opponent makes a Zeus, like, do we even care? Can they actually even make a Zeus against us? No, we have Revendred Executor. Wait, they can't make Zeus. That's not even a threat. Our guys wouldn't be destructible by battle if we just made Chaos Angel. This actually solves a lot of problems. But like, the issue now is like, can we actually make all 3 of these guys? I mean, maybe not. So throw these guys back in for the time being, I guess. If I were to want to make Chaos Angel, I would need probably 6-4 or 8-2. Those are like reasonable ways. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be making Chaos Angel then now. Probably want to make it with lights more than darks, actually. Oddly enough. This makes Bestials like more worthy of consideration here, I think. But like, do I care about the Garnets that we would need to run to accomplish this? Like, no, not really, right? If we run like Synchro Rumble, it's not really a problem, right? Yeah. And Synchro Rumble actually adds like another layer of protection. If a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro monster or Crimson Dragon you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card for instead. Well, actually, yeah, that protection's not relevant. Never mind. I didn't even know what that protected against, or what it protected. I thought it protected Synchros for some reason. So, alright. Oh, also, this can't be destroyed by card effect, can it? Oh, no, wait, it can. Alright, sure. So, right now, if you hit us with non-targeting Banish, that would work. Or one other thing, non-targeting Banish, non-targeting Send to the Graveyard, non-target Attach to your monster. Like, few niche things still that kind of work. So we're probably good now, right? In terms of like end boards, this board actually isn't like that bad either. Well, in terms of negates, we have one. Well, not negates, just interactions. I'm looking at probably like one, two, and then three, four, maybe. But the thing about our end board is it's just ridiculously obnoxious to crack, which I think I might be satisfied with this, honestly. Well, yeah, I don't know what would be reasonable to add on top of this. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking is fine for right now. But yeah, if I'm missing anything that would be easy to just what's the word I'm looking for here? Easy to implement, then yeah, let me know in the comments below, and maybe for the finished deck list, I'll throw it in. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.